lecture of the year. I'd just like to start with thanking Alucast for kindly sponsoring the lecture tonight. Tonight is a highlight of the West Midlands Branch Technical Programme. We get the opportunity to celebrate the achievements of some of our young members and also the future leaders of our industry. Tonight we'll be hearing from Mr. Martin Haynes of Alucast, the Technical Director, and his apprentices. We'll also be hearing from Dennis Hewitt, who is the first student in more than 20 years to have passed the Foundry Apprenticeship Programme in the UK. So I'm very glad to have him here too. Finally, we're also joined by Chris Allett and Dr. Pam Morell, who are going to give us a discussion on the current state of the UK foundry training and also the future for training in the UK. So I'll make a start. So I, like many people in the West Midlands, attended Woden Road campus. You can see on the left-hand side there, studying casting technology. And then about a year or so after I started there, it moved to Smethwick. You can see on the right-hand side. And that's where most people in the West Midlands, and looking around the room, I can see a few people nodding and smiling here, attended the same course. And that was the go-to place for foundry technology. Unfortunately, in the early 2000s, the college closed, and there's a sad picture there. You can see one of the Met Labs. Shocking, sad, heartbreaking picture there. And those in the room that attended the course, the same as me, would see that, and it's heartbreaking. So that really was the death of formal foundry apprenticeships in the UK. So from that point on, really, it was people that had gone through university degrees that maybe had no practical skills. They had to gain them in the foundry. So that was the state of play. Then, after a lot of hard work by a lot of people, quite a few of them in this room, we managed to get a foundry college. You can see on the left-hand side there, that's just up the road from here, about 5 miles away, in a place called Tipton, for those that don't know it. And that's the home to the National Foundry College. And on the right-hand side, you can see some photographs there of the foundry at the bottom. And at the top there, you can see the pattern shop. And actually, one of our speakers later, Dennis, you can actually see they're working on a pattern. So this was the start of, foundry apprenticeship again, really. Excellent facility. And as we'll be hearing from Dennis later, we're now starting to see some fruits of that coming through in terms of people graduating from that course. I got involved with this about 5 years ago by putting my hand up in a room and asking for some volunteers to teach. So I just want to introduce myself to people that don't know me. So I've been in the industry now for about 30 years. I'm a baby of the teachers. I'm the youngest of them. So my background is really casting design, simulations and project management. So I do a lot of the methoding side of things, so to speak. And I was, as I said, a student at Samuel College, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, really. Being the youngest of what was the old cohort, not so young now. But what I'd like to do now is call on Chris Allett. Chris is going to introduce himself. Chris will be talking a bit later as well. Chris is one of the other lecturers there, so I'm just going to hand over to Chris.
Thank you, David. Can you hear me all right? Good. Good. So my name's Chris Allett. Quite a few of you will know me, I'm pretty sure. And I've had 50 years experience in the foundry industry. I'm semi-retired now, but I too, like David, I'm a tutor at the National Foundry Training College. I worked as a senior manager for 30 years, and I worked in automotive, boiler, water pump, and general large casting engineering. I did a foundry apprenticeship. I'm a fellow of the Institute of Cast Metals Engineers and a member of the Institute of Minerals, Materials and Mining, and an incorporated engineer by examination. As you can hear, I'm a West Yorkshireman, studied at Bradford College, did ONC Metallurgy and City and Guilds Metallurgical Technicians Part 3. I'm an experienced foundryman in iron, steel, copper-based and aluminium sand and die castings. I also worked for 9.5 years in Saudi Arabia and I helped to design and build a new diesel match foundry from the ground up. I headed up the team. And really, the ICME, through its training arm and Foundry Training Services, are making our long sought after wish a reality with the training that we are bringing to the apprentices at this moment in time. I will say a little bit more about that later on to give you an update as to where we are with the industry. And we're just letting you know that financial support's available through the Charlotte's Trust and other agencies and initiatives. And the ongoing success of the National Training Centre is in the hands of the industry itself. And I have to report, as it says there on the slide, this is wobbling a little bit at the moment, but some more detail will come forward for you later on.
Thank you, Chris. So before we move on any further, I'll just introduce you to other members of the teaching team. So just to give you a flavour of the skills and abilities we have in the team. So we have a guy there, Eddie Lindsay. I used to work with Eddie's in the audience tonight, so hello, Eddie. So Eddie, again, has got vast experience in the industry. We also have John Myers, who I think John's online tonight. John's a methods engineer, so he teaches methoding, very, very skilled. We have a guy called Billy Cox. Billy teaches pattern making. Again, lots and lots of experience there. And we also have Albert Anderson there as well. I think Albert might be online as well. So vast, vast experience there. None of us are professional teachers. That's the key thing. We are foundry engineers that work very hard to become qualified as teachers to try and teach the next generation. We're not teachers, but we are doing our level best. So what I'm going to do now is introduce you to the apprentices now. I'm just going to hand over to Martin Haynes, who's the Quality Director of Alucast, and he's going to introduce his apprentices. Martin.
Good evening, everyone. Talking about teaching, I'll give you a bit of a background into what I was doing. I did my A-levels at school. I was going to be a teacher. I took a year out. 35 years later, I'm still in the foundry industry. After passing my A-levels, I took a job as a lab technician at Bridge Aluminium. I was there for 24 years. And then in 2011, I joined Alucast. In 2018, we achieved my postgraduate award in Innovation Business Leadership. I was appointed the director of Alucast in 2015 and a board member since 2016. The main point of my talking this evening is to hand over to our apprentices who've got more experience than me. I'd like to hand over to Louis.
Hello, everyone. So my name's Louis. I work at Alucast. I'll just give a brief overview of what Alucast is. It's an aluminium casting business, over 50 years old, based in the West Midlands, only down the road. We do casting, the sand casting process, gravity process, high pressure casting and low pressure casting. And we also have a machining facility on site. So about me, I went to Lancaster University to study biology of all things. And I started working at Alucast after I graduated in the machine shop. I went back to college to study general engineering, Wolverhampton. And during that time, I worked in every aspect of the business, from quality department, sales. I was casting in all the different processes we do. Once I qualified from Wolverhampton College in my HNC, I was qualified as a continuous improvement engineer. So what is continuous improvement? Continuous improvement refers to the ongoing effort to enhance processes, goods or services, either through small incremental changes or what we call breakthrough moments. The aim of this is to increase efficiency, make cost savings. Some continuous improvement tools I've listed there are the plan, do, check, act cycle. That's illustrated there as well. The 5 Whys, Kaizen, but there's tons more as well. I don't just do that. I've got other roles at Alucast. I'm project managing a certain customer. That's very involved. It's making sure parts are processed in a timely manner to meet customer deadlines and meet their quality demands. I also deal with other customers and other suppliers. I'm technically part of the quality department, so I'm working with Martin, sorting out root causes to problems that arise. And my future goals are to further develop my skills as a CI engineer by learning more about CI tools. Pass you over to Liam.
Hello, everyone. I started at Alucast as a cast metals apprentice in 2013. My course consisted of 5 years split into the first year doing a City and Guilds PO, 2 years BTEC Level 3 Manufacturing Engineering, and the final 2 years were spent getting my HNC in Mechanical Engineering. After completing my apprenticeship, I got taken on as staff as a foundry engineer. In total, I've been in the industry 9 years now. My role as a foundry engineer consists of helping with the day-to-day running of the foundry by planning work and resolving breakdowns and issues seen in day-to-day production. I also lead the scrap meetings and head the scrap production projects that are constantly in motion to try and produce the best quality parts to send to our customers and reduce waste. I am also part of the initial design team when new jobs come in. In 2018, I won the Remit Best Apprentice Award. Scrap production. I lead the scrap meetings and compile the top 5 high scrap contributors weekly. With this information, I champion a lot of scrap reduction projects. I'm trained on Magmasoft, which is a simulation software that I can use to redesign problem jobs that create a lot of scrap. I utilize this software by simulating how jobs currently run and analyze how the parts fill and solidifies. By doing this, I can tell whether a defect is caused by being too turbulent or having a lack of feed, etc. As part of my project during my HNC, I used Magma to resolve an issue we were having on a part which was causing a high fallout of scrap. I completed a Kaizen initiative training project where we were challenged to reduce the scrap of the 5 highest scrap parts in the past year using Kaizen techniques. We were set a target of reducing the scrap of these 5 by 20%, which we in the end achieved. Future goals I have for myself. I want to spend more time and play a much more key role in designing new jobs coming in using Magmasoft. I would like to increase my practical casting knowledge by sampling and developing new jobs myself. Finally, I would like to progress into a foundry engineering manager or supervisor role. Next up, it's Connor.
Hi there, I'm Connor. I'm a manufacturing process engineer. I joined Alucast in 2015 after completing my work experience a year prior, which was, by rights, a bit accidental. I was meant to go and work in an office, just doing like helping out, accounting and whatnot. And because the business shut in the summer prior, I had to go and see the careers officer at school, who said, have you thought about engineering? Which is when they directed me towards Alucast, where I fell in love with the foundry industry. I completed a week sort of rotating around the departments, machining, gravity, sand, quality. I really enjoyed it. So I got in touch with them come the end of my exams, so I got an apprenticeship. I saw, obviously, same as Liam, I started a 5-year apprenticeship, started with like a level 2 PEO, a BTEC level 3 in general manufacture, in general engineering. Did an MVQ in the meantime, HNC mechanical engineering. When I started at Alucast, I started in the quality department. After a few months there, I moved into a production/project role. The more suited to this role, it offered a wider scope of work, a few more experiences around with different projects and whatnot. And then I was rotated around each individual just to get an experience for everything on site and everything that we did. My first year at college, we did a range of things, sort of, because we never did any of this at school. It was sort of like an introduction to engineering, if you like. So we did some fabrication, some welding, CNC machining, we did some CAD, and we did some maintenance with hydraulics, pneumatic systems, and a bit of health and safety as well. In the second and third years, we did the level 3. We did engineering maths, electrics, electronic principles, mechanical principles, a fair bit more CAD and CAM, an engineering project which involved coordinating a new machine being moved into a college machine shop. We also completed a project, a work-based project for the MVQ, where I was in charge of project managing a new part for an automotive customer, all the way through from its initial sampling to its production, dealing with the customer itself and suppliers in the meantime. My final 2 years at college spent completing HNC, completing the following topics: thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, engineering materials, design using CAD again to create like a tooling fixture, engineering science, engineering maths and mechatronics. My job role as a manufacturing process engineer to liaise with customers frequently and dealing with production quality and any other issues they may have, being generally customer facing. Also review working procedures and workflow systems to ensure the factory produces the highest efficiency possible. I'm also involved with new projects with the MPI all the way through to the production, and then obviously dealing with any issues in the meantime. I'm responsible for helping improve the on-time deliveries and on-time in full. It's obviously always challenging to keep customers happy, but try our best. I help with the production planning across the foundries and machine shop in our business, just to make sure, again, keep the customers happy. That's big. Short-term goals, I just want to continue to improve my work, through learning as you go along. Sometimes we make mistakes. Learn, get better the next time. Then I want to develop into a managerial role at Alucast over the next few years, just to obviously take the next step forward. And then obviously take any courses or any training possible just to improve what you know. You never stop learning. Then long-term goal, become a managing director or own my own company.
Absolutely excellent, Connor, and watch out, Tony, is what I'd say. So fantastic. So absolutely fantastic from the guys at Alucast. Thank you very much. Now, the guys from Alucast did general engineering courses at their apprenticeship. You'll notice they didn't do any foundry stuff. They've learned that in work. The next guy that's going to speak to you is Dennis Hewitt, who's our first and currently only, but hopefully not for much longer, person through the Foundry Apprenticeship Programme. So Dennis is going to talk a little bit about what he's done at the Foundry College, skills that he's learned, what he's applied at work, hopefully his ideas for the future, and all those sort of things. So Dennis Hewitt.
Cheers, Dave. Thank you. So hi, everyone. My name is Dennis Hewitt, and I'm the first student to finish the Level 3 Pattern Making and Foundry Technician course held at the National Foundry Training Centre in Tipton. So I'll start by sharing a little bit about my life. I played football professionally for Leicester and Stoke City academies as a goalkeeper for nearly 10 years. But then I was forced to make a choice. Pursue my dream job and earn thousands and thousands of pounds a week, or work in a foundry. So of course, I chose to work in a foundry. And no, it's not because I'm only 5'9" and a goalkeeper. When I first started to look for a job, I spent multiple days looking for a future career path on Indeed.com. What I was looking for was a halfway house between general operative and a university degree within the foundry industry, but there was nothing. Luckily, when I contacted Lestercast, they at the same time had just heard of this brand new Level 3 course. This gave Lestercast the opportunity to take on a young apprentice like myself and know that I would be receiving the right kind of training that can only be taught by the industry's experts, like Chris, Dave, and the others that yeah. The format of attending the college for a full week every month really promotes a strong mix of theoretical class-based learning along with practical hands-on skills both at Lestercast and at the foundry inside the National Foundry Training Centre. At the college, it was normal procedure to learn in depth how and why certain practices are carried out in the foundry. For example, we'd create a melt plan, assign everyone with a job, Then, under Chris's supervision, make some castings. There you can see a video of myself and another student casting some ingots, or trying to at least. So as you can see in the video, I'm learning the valuable skill of not dropping the metal all over the place. And then, unfortunately, just off camera, I'm just nearly dipping my hands into the ingots. And if there was audio, you'd hear Chris shouting, "Dennis, lift your hands up, you barn pot." I think that's it. So all of these dangers are explained to us through photos and videos, but until you fully feel the heat while trying to complete a job like this under pressure, you can never fully appreciate what it's like to work in a foundry. When we're not making a mess in the foundry, we're busy being exposed to some of the best tools on the market. For example, getting hands-on experience with Magmasoft simulation software with a very own Dave Hall, or creating patterns in our purpose-built pattern shop. With the college taking care of my general understanding as a whole, Lestercast could then focus on making me a valuable team member. My first year at Lestercast consisted of me spending a few months in each department, which helped me fully appreciate the importance of some skills, such as clear communication when working as part of a team. Fast forward to today. Since completing the course last year, I was promoted to the role of methods engineer. Some of my new responsibilities, as the name suggests, are to design methods for all new work won and to fix any problem jobs that we face, most of which were introduced before I joined. To communicate these methods across to the team, I'll create a method sheet, which you can see in the middle. By doing so, I'm ensuring that the method is repeatable and easily understood by anyone that looks at them. Finally, I then track all new projects at Lestercast and at our overseas partner foundry using a Gantt chart that I'd created, which you can see. Oh, it's not on the screen. The progress is then shared with customers using a component development plan, which you can see on the left. I mention these responsibilities as, thanks to the course, I already had a very good understanding of these tasks, which allowed me to hit the ground running and in many cases suggest improvements. To finish off, I'd like to express that there's something special here, and from what I've been told and from what I can see, there's a real need for a dedicated foundry course like this one who can benefit people like me and the industry as a whole. Thank you.